Roy Emerson was born in Blackbutt, Queensland, Australia in November 1936. He won his first Grand Slam final at the Australian in 1961 against Rod Laver. Emerson won the US Championships that year against Laver. This would turn out to be Roy's last victory over Laver in a Grand Slam. Laver turned pro at the end of 1962. In 1963, Emerson won the Australian over Ken Fletcher and the French over Pierre Darman.
Match point for a sixth time.
At Wimbledon 1963, he was top seed but lost to Wilhelm Bungert in the quarters.
Bungert thought he was there. He must have thought he was there. Well, well, well. Called out. I think it was called out. Yes, it's another match point. Seventh match point. Roy Emerson at the end of a marvellous fifth set.
Emerson beat Fred Stolle in the 1964 Australian final. Emerson finally triumphed at Wimbledon in 1964 over Stolle.
He was probably the fittest of them all, and strangely enough, never seemed to train as like the rest of them. He was just Roy Emerson, that's all it was. He was a fun player who enjoyed himself to the nth degree whenever he played, whenever he was mixed up with the tennis game. It was his complete life, and he wasn't afraid to let everybody know it.
Emerson beat Stolle again in the US final, and in the 1965 Australian final, the two men met again. In the 1965 Wimbledon final, Emerson triumphed over Stolle again. He won the Australian title in 1966 over Arthur Ashe and won his sixth Australian title over Ashe in 1967. Emerson won his last Grand Slam singles title at the French in 1967 against Tony Roche. Emerson was known for being one of the highest-paid amateurs in the 1960s. He rejected an offer to turn pro in 1966 because it was reported he couldn't afford to take a pay cut. These were the peak years of amateurism. In the first Open Grand Slam event at the 1968 French Open, Emerson lost to 40-year-old Pancho Gonzalez on Pancho's least favorite surface clay. Emerson failed to make his mark in the Open era and retired in 1977.
Some of those fellows were employed by our company, and I think they were, of course they were paid. And they were paid, and it was with the full support of the Tennis Association. They knew that these fellows were being paid. There was nothing they could do about it. They wanted them for Davis Cup matches, and so they closed their eyes to that sort of payments.
Next time you play, try to cover court like Roy Emerson. You won't do so, of course, because Roy is the fastest player in the world as he moves around the court. But the exercise will be good for you.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.